Scores of bargain hunters swarmed various business outlets in Bridgetown today to do their last-minute Christmas shopping. And despite the steady traffic at the numerous business locations, all indications are that while hundreds were looking for bargains, Barbadians were keeping a very close eye on their dollars. Ron Brathwaite reports.
In Swan Street, as Bajans and visitors swarmed the popular street-side shopping location, there was mixed feelings on the spending.
I can't complain today. You understand, everybody trying to get the last minute things, so things picking up. Everything going along good.
The momentum dropping through things is a bit slow. The size of recession, we don't know.
Over at Bridge Street Mall, there was steady flow of people visiting numerous stores as anxious shoppers got their last-minute items. The $3 store was a popular spot.
For the last 2 days of Christmas, we have had a very hectic schedule here. Not only in this store, but the other Dollarways Plus outlets, and we'd like to thank our many customers.
In addition to the customary green peas, another popular item on sale at this time was cakes.
We've had a very good morning.
For some, the cakes could not have been baked fast enough.
It's Christmas and you want to have as many pastries as possible because sometimes you're so busy you don't have time to do your own baking.
Today was surprisingly slow for fruit vendors at the Palmetto Mall in Bridgetown. They say this was a time that many of them usually made most of their sales.
This year is a very slow year due to the fact that the economy thing and things starting and people are watching people because 3,000 people are supposed to go on that year, so people budgeting still. But this week being a little better than last week though. You understand? Can't be as good as last year because things stayed all over the world.
Vendors say they hope for an improvement next year.
They will hope that government get things in order, like, you know, where the people is concerned, because that's where got the people in work, you know, if the people ain't working, they ain't getting the money because the people go out get work in order for a self-employed person to survive, you know what I mean? So we hope that the people get some work next year so that everything will be better.
The winter tourist season for this year is being heralded as the ultimate Christmas gift by businesses along the west coast of the island. They're now reporting improved sales due to the increased people traffic from tourists visiting the area. Again, Ron Brathwaite reports.
The winter tourist season just started about a week ago in Barbados, and already several store owners here at West Coast Mall in Holetown are feeling the effects. The West Coast Mall is a tourism hotspot. It's been seeing booming sales with improvements in almost every category.
It started from yesterday when we had George Lamin's school, their choir come and sing, and they were accompanied by the mighty Gabby, and we were fully booked for that. And we have quite a few bookings for tomorrow evening, which is we're having Christmas Eve tapas. So we have 2 seatings at 6 and at 8:30, and we're fully booked for both of them.
West Coast visitors are known for their high spending power, and of course, it's having a huge impact on the holiday mood of businesses there.
Our guests are normally big spenders. We don't really have people that they come to spend and they tip well. So we've not seen a change we get the same type of guests all the time.
The supermarket especially has been bustling with last-minute shoppers.
It's been hectic like this from the time we open. We actually open at 8 o'clock officially, but we had other shoppers in before just to shop for the houses and villas, so it's been pretty busy.
There's also a sense of optimism regarding the economy.
People really believe in Christmas, right? So people are really spending, especially you want to make sure that the kids are happy and everything. So people are really coming out and get what they need, their last minute shopping.
Store owners here at the West Coast Mall in Holetown say, with the economic challenges many of their businesses have been having in recent times, the steady inflow of traffic from the start of the winter tourist season could not have come at a better time. Ron Brathwaite, CBC News.
Thanks, Ron. Some 200 children in Christchurch got a chance to experience the spirit of Christmas. They were hosted by MP for Christchurch East, Dr. Dennis Lowe, at his constituency office. The children between the ages of 3 and 10 were given toys. Books were the order of the day for the older ones, and babies took home loot bags. The event was Dr. Lowe's way of saying thanks and Merry Christmas, and to reach out to those in his constituency who are disadvantaged or whose parents are not working. Barbados aviation authorities were placed on full alert this morning when a private jet flying over the island developed technical difficulties and had to make an emergency landing. The aircraft, which had 9 people on board, landed safely just before noon. Corporate communications specialist at the Grantley Adams International Airport, Keith Goddard, says the airport received a call around 11:15 from the pilot of the aircraft. The pilot reportedly told aviation officials the plane had developed some technical difficulties and requested to land, and it circled the island dumping fuel. After an assessment of conditions by aviation officials, permission was granted and the aircraft landed without incident. Mr. Goddard told CBC emergency teams, including the Barbados Defence Force, were put on standby during the incident. Details of the aircraft and its origin were not disclosed. The Barbados Light Airplane Club is being heralded as the avenue for any Barbadian to become a career pilot with some of the world's largest carriers. Jeff Patterson is one of the success stories of the program. He recently flew back home to Barbados and spoke to CBC News about his experience.
I am very proud to be a Bajan.
A proud son of the soil and one of the few elite flight captains to fly this huge Boeing 747-400, which recently touched down at the Grantley Adams International Airport. Now, CBC News was afforded the rare opportunity to get inside the cockpit and to speak to Captain Patterson, who was in the final stages of training another pilot for captain certification. He took us through from his time at Harrison College, when he went on at age 16 to learn to fly.
Fortunately, I joined the Light Airplane Club, Barbados Light Airplane Club, which is the start of my career, and it can be the start of anybody else's career. It's the place to be, Barbados Light Airplane Club.
Captain Patterson says the training he received here in Barbados is held in high regard overseas.
I had my PPL here, which was accepted exactly carte blanche, and in fact, when I first went out with my instructor, having done a PPL, he said, "My goodness, your quality of training in Barbados is extremely high." And bear in mind, that's the best school in England, the Oxford Air Training School.
But he says there are still challenges for Barbadians who want to become career pilots in the United States and Europe.
For a Barbadian to go on to work for Virgin, the biggest single drawback is the ability to live and work in the EU. And if you joined any American carrier, the same thing, the right to live in America, and the same thing in Canada. That has always been the biggest drawback with anyone who started it, who is a Barbadian, Trinidadian, Vincentian, whatever. To be able to go and fly jets, big jets, you've got to have that right to live overseas.
Despite this, there are now many Barbadian flight captains working on several airlines, according to Captain Patterson, and he's encouraging anyone interested in pursuing the career to reach for the sky and follow their dream.
That's Shane Seeley reporting. Acting Police Commissioner Tyrone Griffith believes that with the pending layoffs in the public sector, some of those displaced civil servants could look to the Royal Barbados Police Force for employment. Mr. Griffith was speaking to the media after a presentation to now Director of Music with the Force, Senior Superintendent Keith Ellis at the Force's Roebuck Street headquarters. Before heading into Bridgetown with senior officers, the top cop said there are currently 100 vacancies in the force. He said the police has still not been able to attract high-end candidates, but he said this could change with the 3,000 cuts in government. The commissioner acknowledged that government is cash-strapped, but he is optimistic.
Well, Barbadians still are not coming forward in the numbers that we would like to join the forces. I guess with economics it would improve. Given the economic situation, people who want a secure job, you will have some increase in numbers, but generally they have not been that significant pull towards the organization.
Commissioner Griffith said overall crime is down by 5%, and he highlighted several accomplishments in the force. He says these include bringing street crime related to cash for gold under control, responding to increased incidents of domestic violence, agitate for and realize the introduction of new legislation, place a number of persons before the law courts, set up new departments, and introduce new systems and processes. The Barbados Road Safety Association is extremely concerned about the growing number of pedestrians who text while walking along busy streets. The concern has come from PRO of the association, Richard Cox.
People seem to think that driving and texting is a big problem. It is. But what about walking and texting? We have far too many people walking along the roads, especially in Bridgetown. Now tell me, how can you see oncoming vehicles if you're concentrating on a piece of apparatus in your hand? Please, we beg of you to stop it. This is causing too many accidents.
Mr. Cox has also appealed to Barbadians to be safe on this island's roads for the remainder of the festive Christmas season.
The Barbados Road Safety Association would like to take this opportunity to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. But we're appealing, please let's take it easy on the roads. If you know you must drink, please do not drive. If you know you must drive, please do not drink. The accident rate in this country is too high. 28 last year, and we are at number 19 now. And we are trying to stop the other 9 from taking place in the few days that left in the year.
The Barbados Museum and Historical Society has released the 80th Anniversary Journal. The new publication was primarily compiled and edited by historian Dr. Carl Watson. President of the Society's Council, Sir Trevor Carmichael, lauded Dr. Watson for his contribution to the annual publication. Speaking during the official launch at the museum, Sir Trevor said the journal has now become somewhat of a tradition.
The annual publication of this journal has become what could only be characterized as a landmark on the Christmas calendar, fusing within the traditional season of festivity, a reminder of the richness and diversity of our ongoing Barbadian experiment and experience. This year is a reminder of the interplay of that rich heritage of both the country as well as of this museum society, as the wide-ranging articles clearly manifest.
Sir Trevor said the journal is a reflection of a well-chronicled journey.
The journal, therefore, is not only wide and varied in its intellectual substance, it is also a very visually appealing product, and that's thanks in no small measure to the work, obviously, of Dr. Watson himself and to Cott Printery. The reproduction of photographs, particularly those of Dr. John Webster, as well as the maps and the other archival material, complement the articles and the research, and they're also, in my view, complementary of the journal as a whole. In summary, ladies and gentlemen, this journal represents an eclectic collection of carefully chosen scholarship presented in a form which is capable of universal acceptance and interest.
The number of donors to the HIV and AIDS Food Bank has declined, but in the Invest Division and the Economic Affairs Division of the Ministry of Finance are among those still giving to the food bank. Food Bank Manager and Community Nutrition Officer Stacia Whitaker says the assistance is needed to feed over 300 clients.
It's more of our clientele, or either they would come in and say, well, we're not working a full week anymore, or not working at all, or different situations like raise their head why they have to come in for the food assistance. So yes, that has been happening throughout the year, and yes, donations have gone down a bit. We probably can say because of the same economic situation and what's not.